on my grave. You must lay some flowers on my grave. My mother and father is gone, left me in this world alone. You must lay some flowers on my grave.
8:36 here, Big 550 KTRS. Erin Pritchard is with us, Vice President of Killer Blues Headstone Project. Good morning, Erin Pritchard.
How you doing this morning?
We need you to talk right in the microphone.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Who were we just listening to? Who was that?
That was Blind Willie McTell, unrelated to the project, one of my favorite artists of all time.
Is that right?
Absolutely.
And his name is what now?
Blind Willie McTell.
Tell me about this Killer Blues Headstone Project.
Our mission is simple, man. We provide headstones for deceased blues musicians that are lying in unmarked graves.
Here in St. Louis or all across the country?
All across the country. We just did one out in Los Angeles. We've been down to Mississippi, Memphis, Detroit. I've done 6 or 7 here in St. Louis, though.
Tell us some of the people you've raised money for.
Just recently, we did an event here at Schlafly's. We partnered with them, did a thing for Tommy Bankhead. In St. Louis, we've done Charlie Jordan, Walter Davis, Milton Sparks, Aaron Sparks, Stagger Lee. We're about to do Benny Smith and James Crutchfield. So we've had our hands full.
What I love about jazz fans and blues fans are you guys rattle off these names like sports announcers rattle off baseball players. And yet a lot of people have no idea who these people are.
Absolutely. A lot of them died in obscurity, unfortunately. Hate to use the word poverty, but unfortunately, due to circumstance, a lot of them didn't get paid royalties. And,
right.
Hence the unmarked graves.
Yeah. Where did you find your love of blues?
As a kid, and I started playing guitar when I was about 13 or 14. Like everyone else, I loved, Tom Petty, Bob Dylan, 70s rock.
Not like everybody, because I was more of a Barry Manilow 70s.
Little Michael Bolton, maybe.
Hey, I didn't say that, man. That was a fighting word.
I threw it in there. No, man. Then about 17, 18, I started going down to Soulard. Really a guy named Brian Kern, a local St. Louis musician, a Delta guy, a sliding the pinky, stomping on the floor type guy.
Right.
If you have a chance, by the way, go see him. He plays about 5, 6, 7 nights a week. But Brian Kern got me into it. And
Where does he play?
Everywhere. You name
it.
Okay.
Brian Kern, anywhere around town. Okay.
Phenomenal musician. He supports the project heavily as well. Done a lot of work for us.
Right.
But yeah, started going to see him and just fell in love, man, from there.
So are you in a band? Do you play? Do you just do this, or are you musically inclined?
I taught guitar lessons and played in bands for a living for a long time. Then I had children, 2 beautiful little kids, and there's no insurance in the arts. You know how that goes.
Right.
And I was tired of being gone on the weekends, things of that nature. So this is my avenue. I want to stay in the music community somehow. So.
Right. Where's this lingo come from? You're talking like a jazz guy or a blues guy.
You sound like a blues guy.
Yeah. What's up with that?
I always get, man. You from St. Louis? Yeah, I'm born and raised. You're not from the East Coast? No.
Right. So, I mean, you do have that sort of hipster.
He does.
Hipster deal.
He does.
Hipster, come on.
A hipster. But hey, you
don't
said
like
I
to be
listen to
called
Michael
hipster.
Bolton, so I can call you a hipster, all right? So
Fair
we're
enough,
even.
fair enough.
Okay, so how long have you been doing this?
About 2.5 years now. The project's president, Stephen Salter, is based out of Whitehall, Michigan. He's been doing it for about 3 or 4 years. I came on in October of 2011.
Right. When you raise the money for the headstone and you have the ceremony, do family members of the musician come out? Tell us about one of those ceremonies.
We do some of them quietly. Some of them, there are ceremonies involved. The most memorable for me was the Eddie King unveiling. He's out of Peoria, Illinois. It was so amazing, man. Probably about 20, 30 family members. Afterwards, we went back to the family's house for dinner, impromptu jam session. Coco Taylor, called the Queen of the Blues. Eddie was her guitar player for 20 years. So her old band actually put on a show in the driveway for us after the event.
Oh,
it was
wow.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Was there one musician in particular that made you want to get into this project?
Not really per se. There's been a couple guys where like my White Whales guys I've been looking for forever. And fortunately, I was lucky enough in the last year to find both of them. And they both have headstones now. One being Charlie Jordan, the other being Aaron Pinetop Sparks. Aaron Sparks is an incredible story. This guy wrote the blues standard, Every Day I Have the Blues. It's one of the biggest, standards ever. Also pinned the term Highway 61, the only road I know, which is in just thousands of blues songs. This guy died in 1935, was laying in an unmarked grave nearly 80 years, and just on December 4th of this year, we actually placed a stone for him.
How do you know it's an unmarked grave? How do you find these guys if they're in unmarked graves from the 40s?
Diligent research, man. I mean, hours and hours of putting my nose in books, the computer, coffee. A lot of diligent research.
How do you raise the money to be able to provide these headstones?
Benefits. We host an annual benefit in Whitehall, Michigan. I did my first one here in St. Louis, like I mentioned earlier, Schlafly's. We sell calendars online called Buried in the Blues. Pictures has the birth and death dates of over 1,200 blues musicians. Have an amazing print by this artist named Missy Morrow called Living in the Blues. Check it out on our website. It's an amazing print. And then we also have a book we just put out too called Every Day I Have the Blues, which has over 1,600 death and birth dates and over 475 final resting places of blues musicians.
Okay, what do you want people to know? How can they help? What's the website? How can they get involved?
www.killerblues.net. Every penny goes towards headstones or placing them. So yeah, just hop online, make a donation, give us an email.
Killerblues.net.
Absolutely.
How come blues hasn't taken off the way more traditional music has, or what we call traditional music?
It's slowly making its comeback. Obviously, it's way bigger overseas, unfortunately, than it is here.
It's ridiculous over. It's huge in Europe.
It's huge. So, it's slowly making its comeback. I mean, you hear bands like Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings bringing back R&B, or Black Joe Lewis bringing back that blues sound. So there's some younger guys out there that are starting to do it again. Trombone Shorty's another good example. So
right.
It's slowly making that retro comeback. But
if you go to, I was in Prague this summer, and I mean, they've got jazz clubs on top of jazz clubs. You pass another block, there's another jazz club. It's a blues club. It's a blues club. It's like the way there are Starbucks in St. Louis, there are blues and jazz clubs in Prague.
It's unfortunate, too. I mean, blues is one of the true only original American art forms. I believe they're considered there's three of them: modern dance, baseball, and then blues and jazz. So it's pretty
right.
Disheartening to know that it's not as popular here as it is overseas.
Before we let you go, Erin Pritchard of KillerBlues.net, St. Louis blues icons who you're looking for or need information on, or just sort of you want to talk about for a second?
Well, I've been fortunate enough in the last 2 years since I joined the project. It was my mission to take care of our own backyard here in St. Louis. So fortunately, due to the 7 that we've done, I only know of one other guy that's in an unmarked grave, a guy named Artie Mosby. I've located him. But Benny Smith and James Crutchfield were two of the bigger St. Louis guys. I mean, huge names. I mean, Benny played with Ike and Tina. He has 2 days in St. Louis. They call him the dean of St. Louis electric guitar. And unfortunately, actually, has ordered that stone yesterday. So.
Okay, so you're good on St. Louis. There's nobody else you need to know about here in St. Louis.
Not right now. Give me time.
Okay, all right, good.
He'll do some digging.
Now, we should also say that if somebody's listening to this and wants to fill you in on somebody you don't know about, KillerBlues.net to find out more, right?
Absolutely. We have a lot of friends in the blues community. Go to the website. Email address is on there. Please contact us. We definitely need the support.
Erin Pritchard, you're going to be, I'm starting a new project here of my own, and I want you to be the first member of this project for us. Is that all right?
All right, let's do it.
Unbeknownst to anybody here on the staff, I'm going to start asking many guests one question. And it's going to be one question. It's going to be a question, and then we're going to compile up all the answers over time. So you're the first one, okay?
Dig.
All right. Dig it. All right.
Such a cool cat, isn't he?
He is a cool cat. Makes us look really, really not
Swear.
cool. Yeah. If you could have coffee with anybody, living or dead, who would it be and why?
Mississippi John Hurt. He's my idol. Bluesman out of Avalon, Mississippi. I know that's a wild one.
Is he alive or is he?
Unfortunately, he died in the 60s.
What about him of all the others?
I'm an acoustic blues musician. I love acoustic music, and his music is just beautiful to me. I've absolutely adored it. So most people haven't heard of him. Check it out. Go online. We're fortunate enough with him. The Library of Congress actually recorded a lot of his stuff in the 40s, so there's a lot of recorded material to listen to.
Right.
But no doubt about it, he's just an amazing musician.
What's the name?
Mississippi John Hurt.
Mississippi John Hurt.
And he just said that without hesitation.
Mississippi John Hurt. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's like saying I want to talk to Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
Mississippi John Hurt. They have such great nicknames in the blues community. Erin Pritchard, you got to have you have to have a nickname.
What's your nickname? What's your blues nickname?
I've never thought of it. Why don't you give me one?
Cool Cat Pritchard.
No. How about I don't know. I'm not good at nicknames.
There's a lot of blinds and a lot of bigs, so maybe we can go Big Aaron Pritchard.
Big Aaron Pritchard.
Pritchard.
big blind Pritchard.
There we go. Absolutely.
Erin Pritchard. And the one person you'd have coffee again is who now?
Mississippi John Hurt.
Mississippi John Hurt. I want to look him up. Mississippi John Hurt.
Yeah.
All right. The website is killerblues.net. Best of luck. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much for having us. We truly appreciate it.
You got it. 8:45 here. Big 550.